The DK Effect.
A real-life diary of a madman.
It's time for the DK Effect. Oh, 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 oh. Come on. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Come on. Oh, 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 oh. It's time for the DK Effect.
Well, top of the day, everyone. My name is DK. It's great to be here with you. And, man, we were crying, we were whining. Still got a couple of cold days in there, but we got our spring. The warm weather is coming. I don't know about you. I'm out there walking with my cane. Starting small distances again, but, we're out there. I've been driving a little bit more, and man, God is good. Life is good. So I think we got a good show ahead for you here. We have part 2 with Sandra. See how her story progresses or regresses. Hopefully progresses. And we got a segment on anchoring after her. But first...
Hey, DKA, you have a listener question?
Yes, I know. We have more than one question. So what we decided to do this week is compile a bunch of the questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. It's about 7. We'll see how much time we have. We might have to carry over, or I'll join you, I'll answer you personally. Number 1, I joined late. Can you tell me, how did you get sick and what was the recovery? Well, I'm going to be a little blunt on this one. We still don't know really how I got sick. Mini stroke, blood clots. Blood clots seems to be the main answer. But I'm going to direct you to episode 1 and episode 2. I was actually thinking of re-airing them at a certain point. I thought it was a little soon yet, but that episode 1 will tell you how I got sick, what I went through for the 2 months in the hospital, and episode 2 will tell you the recovery. As a side note, the recovery is ongoing, and I try to update you as much as possible. Well, this next one's more of a statement than a question, but we'll throw it out there. You're really getting into Tai Chi and meditation. Yes and no. I am becoming extremely passionate about Tai Chi. The more I do it, the more it calms my mind. It's great for loosening the joints and stretching the body. I've added weights 3-4 times a week. And I progress with that like I do with other exercises. And I've added weights into that. And I find I'm feeling good. And it's really helping me. I love Tai Chi, but I am not an expert by any means. So that's why I don't speak on it. Maybe once I research it more or get even further into it, I'll talk more about it. But it's on YouTube. It's free. Send me a private message or an email at our new email, by the way, DK at the DKeffect.ca. Finally got that set up. And I'll send you the link. You can YouTube, Google, whatever they call it. It begins with a breath, or it starts with a breath. This guy's really good. As far as meditation goes, I guess I still kind of practice it, but I've mutated. If that makes any sense. I don't do it as much as I did when I started, but I do use the breathing. I do take moments out of the day and take some deep breaths and reflect or pray or whatever I do. Give positive affirmations, whatever. Think about the day. But I haven't gone on any of those journeys or anything like that lately. So I can't speak on that. So there you go. There's your answer to the statement or the question. I don't think we're going to get to as many as we wanted to. I find AI very scary. How do you deal with the threat of artificial intelligence? We're going to put a hard stop on that. I'm going to It's either a 2 or 3 day seminar at the end of the month, and it's on AI. I think it might be a business course, but I'll let you know. I'll report back. But I'm not scared of AI, not at this point. I find it to be fun. I find it to be helpful in some cases. But yeah, I'm going to put a hard stop on that. We'll get back to it. What does your daily maintenance routine look like now to keep both your mobility and your mindset from slipping back into old patterns? My maintenance routine it goes heavy day, light day, one rest day. On the heavy days, there's weights on the ankles, there's weights on the arms, there's dumbbells, there's weights during Tai Chi. And I do that 3 times a week. I call it aerobic days. On the off days, it's not really an off day, but I just do it without weights. During the weight session, I use a very light dumbbell, to the tone of maybe 3 pounds or something, where I go heavier on heavy days. How does my mindset stop from slipping back into old patterns? Some are erased, like the drinking and that sort of stuff. That's completely erased. I've started a new diet. I cheat all the time. I'm quite open with it, but I eat a lot better than I did as far as fruits and vegetables and what I call vomit sauce, yogurt. So I'm eating better, but some old patterns come back a lot. And it's like I said last week about the exercise. It starts with putting on your shoes. Once you put on your shoes, you're exercising. So yeah, I hit walls. I get days where I don't feel like doing anything, and it's just the stuff I'm talking about helps me. And let's just say so far I'm winning the battle. All right, we got time for one more question. All right, this is a really good one and a really fair one. I'm familiar with NLP. You have taken a course or courses. How do you consider yourself an expert after only a few months? Is this new modern twist trustworthy, or would you say, or as you say, snake oil? Good question. Great question. Yes, I just got certified within the past couple months. Yes, I just really got into it, and I talk about it constantly on this show. But truth be known is when I was about 20 years old, so a very, very long time ago, I attended Tony Robbins seminars. I read the books. I read Zig Ziglar. I read Napoleon Hill. I went to book studies. I did all that, but I used it, let's say, passively throughout my life. I used it when it was convenient or gave me leverage in certain situations, be it business, personal, self. Now I'm focused. I've got a completely new mindset. I'm taking everything we talk about and more week after week after week. And when I get into those ruts and when I hit those walls, these are the things that I call on. I only talk about them because I am 100% positive they work. 100% positive. As far as the new modern twist goes, am I trustworthy? That's up to you. You try what I talk about. You actually put it into action like we talked about last week. You make it into a habit. You don't just do it once and say, oh, that was great, and now it's not working. So the new stuff is stuff I'm learning, breaking off into other side roads, let's put it that way. And I'm learning some stuff, and some stuff ends up in the garbage, and some stuff I'm like, this works. And how can I make this run parallel to NLP to make it a more modern science, if that's what you want to call it. So judge for yourself, though, but give it an honest go before you pack it in. Ladies and gentlemen, folks, I appreciate these questions, and I wish I had more time to sit and answer. I do lives on TikTok right now. I'm not doing them on Facebook yet. I'm just kind of getting back into doing the live. It's just casual chats. So, look for the DK Effect over on TikTok. The link is on the webpage. Come and join me in there. I don't have a set schedule, but if you follow me, I think you'll get pop-ups or alerts that I am live. And I'll answer any questions there. And I don't have any real theme when I go live. I just kind of chat to you. Anyway, I've kind of babbled on a long time today, so I'm going to throw this over to Sandra, and she can continue her story, and I'll be back with my final segment after that.
It's time for part 2 of our interview with Sandra. We have already learned about her life-changing journey from Estonia to Canada. Now we pick up as the struggle continues. New jobs, new battles, and a relentless determination to make her dream come true. Let's pick up where we left off. So sit back and listen as Sandra tells her story in her own words.
And I just ended up switching my apartments. I moved to Kensington Market and I got my rent down a lot. It was kind of like one of those like student housing, like
Okay. Yeah.
I had, I don't know, 5 roommates. It was a lot going on there. It wasn't obviously the nicest, and it was a lot of like people, seeing if your doors are open, and a lot of like dangerous situations where I don't know. It was like it was good enough, but it was a constant like a little bit of anxiety of like, I once opened the door to someone I thought it was my roommates. And this is, me coming from Estonia. I don't really think of that actually, people come to rob us or something. And I
It's
opened
a
the
big
door.
city. Yeah.
Yeah. And I opened the door and it was a stranger. And I had a split second of like, oh my God. Like, I just opened the door and like he's obviously, he was like trying to get in. And I was so lucky that he was just like, oh, and then he just walked away and like almost ran away because he didn't know that someone was home.
Right. But he was
And
just trying all the doors.
yeah. And he actually went to my neighbor's door and walked in. And again, thank God that nothing happened. My neighbor was like, oh my God. And then he just ran away. And like things like that would just constantly happen. And so I was waiting to get my paperwork sorted because obviously the sponsorship with the job was gone, and like all the restaurants, like they couldn't sponsor anyone because, they were closed down. And so I had to find a lot of cash jobs, and I was doing babysitting, I was cleaning, I was cleaning this one Airbnb apartment for a while, kind of couple of times a week, and organizing it. And then I got offered to go and work in roofing.
Oh boy, what a change.
I know. And it was honestly, again, just like you just kind of keep going because, like, you don't like, I started to question myself, like, what is, I didn't come here to do all of those things. And what's the point anymore? And what was my purpose? And then is it just another hurdle, or is it just like an ongoing thing? Like, should I just pack up and go home at this point?
So, and I again, sorry to interrupt, but I like that. That I look for certain catchwords, and is this my purpose and just another hurdle? I like that. I wrote that down.
No, I think it's, because when you're like now I'm talking about it, and it's kind of like those keywords were not in my head so much then. It was more like I was so in it, and that felt like 10 times worse. What is my purpose? And then you start questioning like everything, and it just spirals, and it's hard to keep your head straight because you don't know. Like right now, I know how the story ended up so far.
Yeah.
But at that point, you don't know how it's going to end up, and it's scary.
It is. It's an amazing story. So sorry, carry on. I just had that point there.
No, it's great. So yeah, well, also to keep in mind that I did feel like, I left my family, like everyone there. And it's not that like I was never planning to go back, but it was also kind of like if I'm not gonna create like a life here or succeeding something or then what was the point? Because it's not easy to be far from your family. So I was kind of had that expectation of myself that if you're not going to achieve something great that you came here to do, then there's no point.
Gotcha.
Like
Yeah. And you want to be able to afford to go and visit.
of course, yeah. Well, that's also, all the financial side where, I've had many conversations with people to where I want to get to. And a lot of it is that financially, and I'm not saying that money fixes everything, but for my mental health, I need to be able to afford to go home. And that's not cheap. Therefore, there are certain things that I do believe.
Yeah. No.
you
I mean,
know?
money, it doesn't necessarily make the world go round, but we all need
Yeah,
it. We all need a
of
roof
course.
over our head and, follow our dreams. And yeah, going home's a
Yeah,
big thing.
for sure. So yeah, I worked in the roofing for a while. It was interesting.
I
I
can't believe that. That one took.
yeah, I was
I'm afraid of heights, so
oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean I'm lucky with that I wasn't afraid of heights. It was difficult to get off the ladder onto the roof
Yeah.
because then you're kind of like just only like don't look down. And but you kind of like get used to it. Yeah, and I did that for a while, and then I did end up getting my visa approved. I actually applied for a study permit because that was the only way to stay in the country is to go to school. And I figured, okay, if that's the way to go, and education is not going to hurt me whatsoever.
No, and good
you
point.
know,
And you're right. The schools rely on the international students. I know even down
yeah,
here. Yeah.
for sure. So I ended up getting that approved. So I got a job in Toronto at a restaurant like in the summer of I guess it was 2021 at that point, and I moved out of the Kensington house into I got like a studio apartment. And yeah, things were looking a lot better. I was working a lot. I had a very good relationship with my coworkers, made lots of friends, and I was going to school and well, it was all online, so it was obviously a little bit easier in that way.
Yeah.
And my job ended up sponsoring me as well. So it was just like another thing after another that was like, okay, this is like not a bad thing after another, good things. One thing after another is just finding their way.
The ball's
And
rolling now.
yeah. I really thought that things were going great. And I met my now husband in 2024. We started dating in January, and obviously we had that conversation of, are you planning to stay here? And so what's the point of if you're like going back home, and what's the visa situation? And I was like, oh, no, my job is sponsoring me. I got it all figured out, and everything is good. Like I am looking to create a life here. And little did I know that I didn't have the greatest relationship with my boss, so that spiraled into that they didn't want to sponsor me anymore. And it was like it's a longer story kind of. It was just not a good environment for me, and everything was just like, I would say even going to work was very difficult. Like I would go to work feeling super great, and even when you just start dating someone, you're just happier and
Yeah.
all of that. And somehow I still like ended up leaving work like completely defeated, and it was just not a good environment for me to be in. And so I was talking to a lot of lawyers, a lot of money was spent on the consultations and everything. And for 6 months, I was doing that, trying to find a way, like, this cannot be the end.
Right.
And all of those calls was kind of like, yeah, I don't like, even, lawyers and stuff, they were like, there's no way for you to stay here. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you need to find a job that will sponsor you, but that's like finding like a needle in a haystack at this point. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
and I couldn't go and work somewhere else because my visa was tied to that job. And even though the job and the situation there was so hard, it wasn't like I can quit and go work somewhere else because I can't. Like I'm on my visa, I have to work in that specific place.
Right.
So it's a lot of restrictions, and like you're kind of like you can't just do what you want and now like, oh, I'm gonna work somewhere else. Like, no, it just doesn't work that way. Which, it's not like a nice feeling. Like it's just very controlled. And so I got on the spot in the summer of that year. I got my visa extension denied, so it was just on the spot. Take your stuff and go and figure it out.
Jeez.
And I lived by myself at that point in that condo, so it was not cheap. And I was already, you're doing the calculation in my head, like how much money I have saved to even stay here. But the thing is as well that they give you 3 months to figure out, like by the end of the 3rd month, like you got to leave the country if you haven't figured it out. And I would like, it was just a full on panic. Like I didn't even know.
I never knew it was that difficult.
Everything the DK Effect all in one place. www.thedkeffect.ca. All our social media links: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. A library of articles that go into detail on subjects covered on the show, and other articles including mental health, personal growth, fitness, and success stories. An easy way to contact us with questions or if you want to share your story on the show. Yep, all of that in one place to assist you on your life journey. It all starts with taking the first step at www.thedkeffect.ca.
Back over to you, Dickens. 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 Back over to you, Dickens.
Anchoring. Now, nobody asked me a question this time, but I figured, okay, you referred to anchoring in one of the last segments, and you're kind of leaving people out to dry. How can I do this? At its simplest, an anchor is a stimulus response pattern. It's a trigger. It's a specific trigger, whether that's a sound, a touch, or a sight, that instantly fires off a specific emotional state. We see this in the real world all the time. You hear a song from high school and suddenly you feel that teenage nostalgia. That's a natural anchor. But as a coach, I'm interested in intentional anchoring. It's the art of stacking, okay? Your best internal resources, stacking them up so you can call them up exactly when you need them. Kind of think of it as a mental remote control. So how do we build one? In the science of things, we use the 4 pillars of anchoring. If you want an anchor to stick, it needs to be unique. Don't use a gesture you do all the time, like shaking hands. Use something distinct, like pressing 2 specific fingers together, pulling on your ear, grabbing your arm. We call this purity. You want to capture the feeling at its absolute peak. So again, we're referring to positive, exciting memories or thoughts, however you drum them up. And you want to catch that anchor at the absolute peak, not at the beginning, not at the end when it starts to fade, not when it's building up. You want to catch it at the peak. And that's when you do the pressing the 2 fingers or whatever your anchor is. Timing. This is the big one, okay? This is the big one. You apply the trigger just before the peak of the emotion. So I kind of said that already, but I want to reiterate it. Just before the peak, trigger the anchor. This is how it sticks with you. You have to be able to replicate that trigger exactly the same way every time. So let's go through the process very quickly. First, Identify the state you want. Let's say it's unstoppable confidence. Close your eyes. Go back to a time when you felt that way. See what you saw, hear, what you heard, and feel those sensations growing in your body. As that feeling hits about 90% intensity, fire your physical trigger. Hold it for a few seconds, then let go and break your state, whatever it is. Look around the room, count backward from 5. Do this a few times until the touch alone brings the feeling back. So, I guess let's go into a real world example. Again, the stress seems to be a recurring theme. The stress reset. If you have a high pressure job or you're high pressure at home or whatever the situation, you can create a calm and precise anchor. When the inbox is overflowing, you fire that anchor to drop your heart rate and regain your clarity. The beauty of anchoring is that you aren't faking a feeling. You're simply retrieving a resource that already exists within you. You're building a bridge between the version of you that is capable and the version of you that is currently under some sort of pressure. Try this today. I got homework. I haven't done that in a while. You got homework. Pick one state, just one, and anchor it 3 times. Notice how much more control you have over your internal weather, let's call it, when you have the right triggers in place. Give it a try. I keep telling you, none of this works if you don't try it and you don't practice it. All right, that's it for me. We'll see you real soon. Remember, come see me on TikTok. Make sure you subscribe to all our social medias, Facebook, Instagram. What's the other one? Threads. I'm not on X anymore. I gave up Twitter. I gave up X. Too negative for me. All right, you know the routine, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day you take action. Well, every day should be that way. 1 foot forward, put on your shoes, pick up that pen, pick up that phone, take action. Do it today. Check your goals often. Be kind to a stranger, smile at them. You never know what they're going through, and you never know who you're going to inspire. Most of all, ladies and gentlemen, be kind to yourself. Until next time, I'm DK.
Never, never, never look back. Keep going.